Hi everyone, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Anna, and you're listening to We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, a podcast hosted by us, a married couple with an endless love for TV.
Whether you're looking for a new show to binge or wanting to revisit an old classic, let us be your guide through the infinite list of TV shows.
So come join us every Friday as we discuss the pilot for a TV show while also sharing personal stories that parallel the storylines.
We Judge a Show by Its Pilot, where your new favorite show is just one click away. Hello everyone, welcome back to our pod.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. It is Saturday afternoon. We are recording, just got off work, did some stuff around the house. We are getting ready for our trip to Europe. We're both so excited. We have not stopped talking about it.
I know, I was very close to starting to pull clothes out, but
My backpack is already packed.
I have one more work trip next week,
Yeah.
and so I said I was waiting until that was done. And I also have like 2 boxes of stuff to donate in the living room, so I need to get that out of the house. So
Nice.
once that is gone and my trip is done, I will be ready to pack. So I can't believe your backpack is packed, and you got a new backpack. It's cute.
I got a new backpack because the backpack I have now has like 800 zippers and 900 pockets.
Oh my God, it's so complicated.
Zippers within zippers and pockets within pockets, and there's side pockets and inner pocket. I'm just like
Straps
I need
and clips.
I need a simple backpack
Because
for our
this,
travel
you're not
days.
bringing your laptop.
Right.
You're not bringing a lot of electronics.
Yes.
I think you're bringing your tablet and
Yes.
like your earbuds.
My earbuds. I'm bringing a book, and we're bringing
A game.
Bringing Flip 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting ready for that.
Because, and
That's
it's
segues.
segue and continue.
We are excited about our future world travels across the pond to Europe, and since this is YouTube month, we couldn't have picked a better I always want to say show. I need to stop saying show. YouTube channel that fits what's going on in our lives perfectly. And our number one thing that we love doing together is traveling. We talk about it all the time. And we have chosen today a YouTube channel about 2 married travel vloggers. I think that's probably the best thing to call them. And they are Kara and Nate.
Yes.
And I have to remember not to say their Nara and Kate, which I always want to say, Kara and Nate. And they are these travel vloggers from Nashville. They, you'll talk about it in a second, like specifically who they are. But yeah, we watch a lot of travel stuff. Sometimes I would say more so when we have a trip planned.
Yeah, we'll start watching stuff.
We sometimes casually watch travel stuff if it's interesting, but I would say these are really the only travel vloggers that we watch consistently.
Oh yeah. I will say I used to be very religious.
Yeah.
When they dropped episodes. Maybe in the past few months I haven't been as on top of it, but we'll talk about that and how their schedule has changed, because they actually sort of mix things up this year for various reasons. So it's been easier to catch up because they're, I think, doing only one a week or one every other week.
I think it's every other week.
Yeah, so they've changed it too, again. So I have really enjoyed watching kind of their evolution of their channel.
Yeah, so we're just going to get right into it. We got some fun stuff to talk about. So what we're going to do, since this is a little different, it's not a TV show, we don't have the same exact format as we normally do. These episodes this month are going to be a little different. Anna's going to give us a little backstory to Kara and Nate, and then I'm going to talk about the 3 videos of theirs that we've selected to watch, and it'll all make sense when we all talk about that. So Anna, go for it.
All right. Kara and Nate. Kara and Nate are American vloggers that joined YouTube on December 9th, 2015. As of March 2026, they've uploaded 1,040 videos, have over 4.4 million subscribers, and a total view count. You have to change this.
It's over 1 billion, right?
It's over 1 billion.
I thought so.
Yep,
Okay.
It hit the other day.
I saw the post.
I saw her post,
Yeah.
and I was very excited for them.
I saw that, and I was like, I think they hit 1 billion.
Yep.
I'm glad you said
Yep,
that.
they hit 1 billion. Kara and Nate's content can best be classified as travel and lifestyle vlogging. To best describe their channel, here is their bio from their YouTube channel. Hey y'all, we are a husband and wife from Nashville, Tennessee. We started our YouTube channel on a whim when we decided to take a year off and go travel in 2016. 1 year quickly turned into 4, and at the very end of 2019, we stepped foot in our 100th country. Shortly after achieving our 100 country goal, the pandemic hit. With international travel no longer an option, we bought a van and spent 2 years traveling around the U.S., living in our tiny home on wheels. At the beginning of 2022, we moved out of the van and back into our suitcases full time. We're not exactly sure what our next goal is going to be, but we're currently having fun bouncing around the globe and changing our passions and interesting stories.
Chasing our passions.
I can't read.
You're good.
I have something in my eye, I think, actually, to be completely honest. I keep going. It's like I've been dusting and gardening and cleaning.
They're having fun bouncing around the globe, chasing their passions and interesting stories.
Thank you, boo. I can't read. Okay.
You're good.
All right.
Okay, so first of all, it's funny because I constantly forget about the van content.
Yeah.
I constantly forget about that because that was when you introduced me to them. That was when you were kind of like, this is Kara and Nate. I've been watching their stuff, and they were full on van people. It was during COVID. So like, yeah, I remember watching that and you showing me like their older videos and stuff like that from when they were like traveling around. So they originally started out as budget.
Yes.
Like travel on a budget content. Like that was kind of like their...
Yes. So Nate, I think, discovered points.
Right.
Like via credit cards and stockpiling points. And so in 2016, I think they had stockpiled a ton of points from various credit cards, programs, wherever you could get points from to fly and hotels. And so I think we're at a kind of crossroads in their lives, in their careers. And as I just read, they decided to take a year off and travel.
Yeah.
On a budget, on points. And I think they were originally like $75 a day. And like they would talk about their budget and keeping track. And there are a lot of videos where Nate would not do stuff because it wasn't in their budget. And he would get definitely attacked in the comments for like, oh my gosh, you're like going to be in China. Like, you never know if you're going to go back. Like, why don't you let them do that? So, so they started like very much travel on a budget, but their channel back in the early days wasn't so much as it is today in the sense of like them showing us a lot of where they were. A lot of it was, to me, like how they got to places.
Right.
It was like the train, the bus, the moped, the scooter, the plane, the tram, whatever it might have been. I mean, obviously we saw where they were and stuff, but that was really not their focus.
Right.
And so, as you know, I've been stressed about our Europe trip because we're going by train on several legs of it once we land. And I have not traveled by train. And so I think that was my original connection back in the day. I was very intrigued by their methods of traveling. Yeah. And so it's kind of funny now that we're going to be actually doing that. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Sorry, I rambled on a little bit.
That's the whole point where it's a podcast.
I know, I say that all the time, but sometimes I feel like I'm talking too much. But anyway, yes.
Not at all.
So they started as a budget vlogging couple.
Yeah.
Yes.
On a budget. So
on a budget.
It's funny because their first video, World Travel So Far, all lowercase, was uploaded on January 3rd, 2016, and currently has over 279,000 views. I love 2010's YouTube.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love the era where... And this is not putting their content down because, like they said,
everyone was doing it.
They had no intention of. They just did it on a whim, and like so, this first video is essentially like a slideshow. I mean, like
it's like all their.
It's like maybe pictures. 7.5 minutes long. I think that's what I clocked it, and I was like, do not miss that YouTube. I do not miss 5-minute video YouTube. Like, I don't.
It was very
miss
frenetic
it at all, and like, it's funny going back and watching because we watch. I mean, we've talked about it several times on this podcast. We watch Smosh as like our regular YouTube channel that we watch just about every single day, if not every day.
Yeah,
and it's funny going back and watching when we first started watching Smosh, those like videos from like 2020 and 2021. They were like 12-minute. It was like Eat It or Eat It episodes for like 13 minutes long.
I know, it's
and
crazy.
And we did not bat an eye. Like, we didn't even think about it. And then now, the Reddit stories that just came out today, it's an hour and a half. It's an hour and 25 minutes. Like,
or like,
and it's going to get 3 million, it's going to get millions of views because that's what people want now. It's either they want 30-second videos,
shorts,
or they want 30-minute talking to the camera, talking about their lives in detail. Like Lauren, we did Lauren's video. Her videos went from being short, being kind of like the time lapse, and then it evolving into her basically just like talking to the cosmos. I mean, like, just kind of talking about what's going on in her day. And it's interesting with Kara and Nate because when you show me their older videos, and you're like, and the whole episode isn't really about where they're going. It isn't really about like, oh, and we saw this really cool bridge and we saw this really cool thing. And it was basically Nate just being like, and we did this and we only spent this much money. Like, that's basically what their content used to be. And now it's cut to their most popular video, which came out in September 19th, 2021.
Thing.
No, we lived in a $650,000 Earth roamer full tour.
Oh, yes, that one. Yes. Yeah.
It was uploaded on September 19th, 2021, and it currently has over 15 million views. I mean, talk about, by this point, they're, 5.5, almost 6 years into their channel, and like, it is no longer... It is, check out this awesome, and no hate at all, because I love that video. I love the Earth Roamer video because it's such a cool, thing.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to watch because I think we watched the first video you ever watched of theirs.
Yeah.
We watched that first.
And then we watched this.
And then we watched the Earth Roamer, and I'm just like, talk about the whole episode when they're on, so this is the first video you ever saw. We'll talk about all of them. We'll talk about their channel in general, but the first video Anna ever watched was the first class overnight train, Georgia to, can you say the country?
Azerbaijan.
Thank you. Was uploaded on November 2nd, 2018, and currently has over 6.3 million views. So what led you to Kara and Nate? What was it like that just kind of... Was it the train ride?
Yes, it was the train ride, and it was to kind of like those Eastern European countries, which is a little bit of what we are going to be doing. And this was back then because I've always wanted to go to the countries that we're going to. I'm so excited that we're going to Germany, we're going to Hungary, we're going to Austria, and I've been to Europe 3 times, and I visited quite a few countries, but they're all coastal, like cruise access and not river cruise access, like big cruise ship access. So I've never been on the interior of Europe. And when I saw this video, I think when it popped up in my algorithm, I was like, oh, well, this looks interesting. Yeah. Because I've always wanted to travel by trade. And so that was really why I kind of started watching them, and then I was just kind of hooked immediately. I don't know what hooked me other than they just seemed like a fun couple, and they were married, and I think you and I have always talked about like we enjoy traveling together, and we're both always up for an adventure. So that's kind of what they seemed like as a couple, and I think that's what got me in to watching them. Yeah, I like them. They
probably my favorite video that they ever did, and we've rewatched it a couple times, is when they did the whole Christmas market thing.
Oh yeah, love that
whole series of I don't know if it was a series of episodes or just one big episode, but yeah, I remember watching those videos. Oh, of course, the Krampus run or whatever it's called, Krampus parade.
The glue wine or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah.
That she drinks, and then she gets a mug at each of them, whichever's her favorite. So yeah, I think how it's evolved and changed from being kind of travel friendly budget to what it is today, where they are for sure absolute influencers, brand. They are now all about getting into the lounges and first class and luxury travel. You definitely look at Reddit way more than I do. Yes. I just hear sort of secondhand, and I think they've gotten a little bit of flack from, the way that they've changed. But I mean, I don't begrudge them that, in the sense of like, hey, if, Lufthansa wants to send me up in their first class apartment suites of their airplane, I wouldn't be turning them down.
Right.
But that is, I think, what I love is you can kind of live vicariously through them and go camping on the Great Wall of China. Will we ever do that? I doubt it. Right. But, I love being able to see that, because that was truly not a lot of television. I mean, you kind of had some travel shows like, Rick Steves and, the Passport chick, I can't think of her name, Samantha whatever Brown, and you would see like a day in the life, and it was very produced. And this is like just a married couple traveling around Europe, and now it's a little bit more produced in the sense.
It's to a point to where you do something for so long, it's like, it's time to do something different. And I think an example I always think of for that, and this is way off topic, but it'll make sense once I finish the story. Okay. Like, so if any of y'all have ever seen a movie called Clerks, and you know who a person named Kevin Smith is, he infamously made this movie for like $25,000. Yeah. He maxed out credit cards. He sold his comic book collection, but he made this movie for $25,000. It goes on to be an official selection at Cannes. It ended up becoming this cult classic that it defined a generation of customer service workers that were in the 90s and all of that, and it just kind of spoke to a generation. And so years later, probably 12 years later, Kevin Smith is wanting to make Clerks 2, and by that point, he has made all of these movies. He's worked with, he is the reason why Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have a career. He's the reason why he worked with all of these, like, he's the reason why Jason Lee became famous and Ethan Suplee became famous. Like, he's just kind of this person. So when he was making Clerks 2, he was like, oh, well, let's just go back to the well and let's just make a movie for like $50,000. And his longtime producer, Scott Mosier, who was like, yeah, we can't do that anymore. Like, we're not those people anymore. Like, it would be harder. It would take more effort for us to make a movie for $50,000 because we know how to make a movie now. Because back then they didn't know. They were just... They were using the resources that they had, and that was it. It was Kevin Smith worked at the Quick Stop. They could only film at night when the store was closed. That's why the shutters are closed the whole time. And it's just like they only got to film during the day like 2 or 3 times. It took them like 3 months to make the movie and then like a year for him to edit it. Like, it's not the same thing anymore. So like my point is like you reach a point to where it's like if Karen Nate went back to being Budget Travelers, it wouldn't be the same because they have their own company now. Like they collaborate. They collaborate with so many people. They have a staff. They have a team as it would be called. And I mean, going back to budgeting, I think that would feel fake. I think that would feel disingenuous. And I think that fans have definitely kind of come around. Eventually they came around and they love it now, but I'm assuming when they first started doing like the Earth Roamer and we're staying at the fanciest first class ever on any airplane, and like, first of all, those videos are awesome. So I mean, like,
when they're on those like Orient Express, and like the so Imperial cool. trains,
right?
I mean, I'll be honest. I we could ever save, like, that is something I would really love
Orient
to do.
Express, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I will also say I do, kind of want to go to Antarctica and see the penguins and go through the Drake Shake and all. I mean, so they do kind of give you these like ideas of things like these, at least initially, to ordinary people. They are now very famous and, have a huge following and a big channel. But, back then you were like, I could do that. Like
Yeah.
they've done it on $75 a day because you and I have talked about our trip and how much money we're bringing and cash versus credit versus app. And,
Right.
you know, it's all
different
very
now.
much
Yeah.
changed. I mean, even then when they first started, you weren't buying stuff via apps.
No.
Yeah.
Apple Pay
so
wasn't.
Apple Pay wasn't thing
Yeah.
in 2016. So, yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about travel, budget traveling, and you and I are very, I would say frugal people. We like to save and we like to budget and we like to be practical and we're not, frivolous with our money or anything. So I feel that this would be, I think we would make good if we were travel vloggers. I think we would be good budget travel vloggers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if we ever wanted to decide to do that, someone sponsor us. Okay, so what was the first trip you remember going on where you were like on a budget? Maybe it was your first time like going on a trip like without your family, without like your parents, and you had to like come up with your own, okay, I have to spend this much money, I have this much money to help pay gas or help, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just your daily expenses.
So my roommate Pam and I, in college, we were both teachers. I taught high school. She taught kindergarten. Actually, I had just lost my job. So this was summer of 1995. I was still trying to find a job.
Yeah.
And I think I might have told a little bit of this story before, but we were watching the movie Shag, which takes place in South Carolina. And
You've told me this story. You have not told the story on the pod.
oh, okay. And so
If you have, I don't remember.
we were watching the movie Shag, and being teachers, you're off during the summer, so we didn't have anything to do. So she looked at me and she was just like, and I had joked, I was desperate because I didn't have a job. There were like no jobs in Monroe, Louisiana. And I was like, I wonder if there are any jobs in South Carolina. And so I don't know how she found out, but there was like a teacher like hiring fair going on in like Orangeburg, South Carolina. It was like a small town, and she was like, would you want to go? And I was like, okay. And again, just keep in mind, in 1995, I still didn't have a car of my own.
Right.
She would let me borrow her car all the time. And so she called her parents and were like, Mom and Dad, just FYI, we're going to South Carolina like this next week. And so I had called a friend of mine, Daniel, from high school, and he lived in Atlanta because we were in Monroe, and we're like, all right, what would be an initial stopping point? And we thought Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that was just straight across I-20. And I was like, can we come and stay at your apartment for like a couple of nights before we go to this teacher fair? And he's like, sure. So I was like, all right. So budgeting.
Where in South Carolina was it?
It was Orangeburg. I think that's what it's called.
That's funny.
Kind of
Orangeburg,
like,
South Carolina,
yeah,
that is.
kind of like Spartanburg, but it's kind of like central. Is it kind of central?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, you go right through Birmingham. You go right through Atlanta.
Yep. And so that was the first budgeting. Was we had like we decided like on a Friday night, I think, or Thursday or Friday to go. So we left on Saturday. We actually stopped at her parents' house. They were worried about her car being reliable enough to take a road trip. And
you may have just said it, but where did she live?
she actually, her parents lived in Newellton, Louisiana. So that was on 20 on the way. Mm-hmm. So we dropped off her car, picked up her mom's car, and started driving to Atlanta.
Nice.
It was very sweet. Her parents were the best. Her father has since passed away, but her mom is still alive. Shout out to Carolyn Godfrey. Hey, Pam. And it was very sweet because her mom knew, like, we did not have money. I was making like $1,000 a month back then. And I was still getting my last teacher paycheck because I had chosen to be paid throughout the year and not the 9 months. So I had like 1 or 2 last paychecks. And her mom had like packed an ice chest for us with like Diet Cokes and sandwiches.
Nice.
And she had gotten us like chopped veggies. I mean, it was very, very sweet. Her mom and dad like always took care of us. And so we took off for Atlanta, stayed the weekend in Atlanta. And we stayed at Daniel's apartment with his roommate. And they took us out in Atlanta, and I'll never forget this. We were going to go because we were just really grateful that Daniel let us stay for 2 nights.
Yeah.
We went shopping to go get him like something for his house because he had like a total bachelor pad. And he had like no dishes or serveware or like anything. Because I think he was also like, we were the same age. So, you know, he had just started working. You know, he had probably graduated in like 91 or 92. And we went to Crate and Barrel at like the Atlanta Galleria or something and got him like this chip and dip thing. And I remember him telling me like years later that he still had it. He was like, it was like one of the nicest gifts anyone gave me. And I just remember like going into this mall in Atlanta because I had been in big malls, but I don't think I had ever been in a Crate and Barrel, like, you know, the Pottery Barn, Crate and Barrel. Yeah. And I just remember thinking like, this is fancy. Yeah. And like Pam was like, this is fancy. Like, you know, again, your mind at like 24, 25, you're just still like.
I remember my mom taking me to Pier 1 as a kid and thinking Pier 1 was like such a fancy place.
Bougie
it was
place.
all wicker. Like it was all.
So we then drove to Orangeburg. We went to the teacher fair. Now, Pam taught kindergarten, and I don't want to say kindergarten elementary teachers are a dime a dozen. It's very difficult to be an elementary school teacher, but those are a dime a dozen in the sense of like if you teach elementary education, you can almost teach any grade.
Right.
Being very unique and being a Spanish teacher is like you do have to take a special certification, which I had taken the national teachers exam, the Spanish teacher certification. I was getting offers left and right. It was crazy because I was never used to that. I was always used to like, we already have a Spanish teacher. We don't need a Spanish teacher. We already have one. She's been here forever. And like she wasn't getting any offers. They were like, every graduate is an elementary ed. Like we have tons of those. We need the niche teachers. And I was just like, I'm not moving here without her. You know, I was like, is there anything, you know, and because I wasn't moving halfway across the country by myself without a car, you know, so we ended up not accepting a job. I had gotten, I think, like 1 or 2 offers from some principals, but I was like, I can't take it unless she gets an offer. And so we kind of left defeated. I think we might have stayed like 2 nights. I'm gonna just, I really, really think we stayed at like a Super 8 or a Motel 6 because it was probably like $25 a night or something. And that was really all we could afford. And I think we felt safe together, you know, like I'm really trying to think of that trip in the sense of like where we stayed, because then after that we're like, well, we're already out west. What else can we do? Like we didn't have anywhere to go or anywhere to be. We didn't have pets. I mean, we lived in a townhouse, like no responsibilities. And I said, well, my friend Jennifer lives in, I think it was either Chattanooga or Gatlinburg. It was like Eastern Tennessee. And so I called up Jennifer and she was living in Tennessee. And I said, hey, I think we're going to come up to Tennessee. We're in, you know, South Carolina. And again, I think we stayed at like a Super 8 or a Motel 6. And we saw Jennifer and Byron. We went to Dollywood.
Nice.
I think we were close to like Pigeon Forge. We also went to the caverns, Ruby Falls. I think we went to the Ripley's because my family, had gone there. Okay, yes. So we had gone there as a family. And so like I knew of all of these places. And then, and so we also went to a concert. I'm trying to think. It was like a country singer. It's going to come to me after this.
George Strait.
No, it was not George Strait. But it was like
90s.
It was like Leanne Morgan or it wasn't
Womack.
No, that'd
be awesome.
It was it wasn't Leanne Womack.
Leanne Rimes.
No, she was probably even born yet.
Well, yeah, she was young when she started though.
I know, 14. But anyway, so after that, again, we were still like, we have nowhere to go. What else can we do? On the way back, so we started driving west through Tennessee, and we just started going to like wineries. Yeah, because you could just do like a tasting I think back then it was like a $10 thing. Like, and then you would get like the little like flight of little shots of wine. And so we would stop at a winery, and I think we spent like one night maybe in Memphis or something, and then went back to Monroe. But we were gone from like a Friday to like the following Saturday.
That's awesome.
And we were probably eating stuff out of that ice chest. Well, we probably ate a lot of it in Atlanta, and then, you know, maybe save some of like the veggies, and her mom packed us like chips and granola bars or whatever the hell else, like, you know, Carolyn put into the cooler. But we were really creative on where we would eat, and we probably ate a shit ton of like the 59-cent menu of Taco Bell or the $1 menu at Wendy's back in then. And so that was probably the first one. The only other one I can think of was spring break, my senior year of high school.
That's the story I thought you were going to tell.
Well, when my mom said I could go, but I had to pay for it. Yeah. And I just started babysitting, and I didn't have to technically, I don't think we had to pay a lot for the condo, because my friend Donna, her mom, and like I think her brother were staying in like the main master bedroom, and all the rest of the girls, we were sleeping on like the couch or air mattresses. And so her mom was just like, you know, give us like $50 to help with groceries, and I just had to have money for extras, like if we went out at night, or if I wanted other, you know, we wanted to order a pizza, or because I think I literally went for a week in spring break in 1987 with like $250. And that lasted a week. That's not even a hotel rental these days. I mean, you can't go to Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Pensacola without it being at least $400 a day. Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. But what about you? What is the budget trip you've ever taken?
So the first one I remember was a senior trip to Universal in Orlando. It was me and 3 of my friends, and there was like, I mean, the senior trip that like everyone took to like Cancun, or Cancun, I think was the place. Everyone was kind of going to that, and we kind of heard about like a cluster of people that were going to like Disney and Universal, and we were like, that sounds like more fun and sounds like something we'd be more interested in doing than going to Cancun. And so we were just like, okay. And one of my friends that I was going with, she came from a wealthy family, and her dad's like graduation present was he paid for our plane tickets. And so that was New Orleans to Orlando. We got direct flights. That's the only part of the trip that we didn't have to pay for. So we had to pay for hotels. We had to pay for our passes to Universal. We had to pay for travel, food. We had to do all of that. I'm 18 years old. I luckily had a job. So
I was going to say, you were working.
I always had a job. I always had a paycheck. So I wasn't like that
broke,
worried about it, or broke. But it was the first time where I had to be like, okay, this is how much money I'm going to have. This is how much money I'm going to bring. And because I don't think I had a checking account at this point in time. I think I just had cash. In a savings account at Regions, which I've been with them forever. And so we found this is the first time that I like went on the internet to look for hotels. It was like 2003. So found a Holiday Inn Express in Orlando. We chose it because they had free continental breakfast and free shuttles to whatever park. But the thing was, you got there super early, and they brought you there, and they picked you up super late. So it was like, well, we're gonna be at the park all day, so we're gonna be at the park for 12 hours, like basically.
But that's what you.
But we were 18, so who cares? Yeah. And so we go to this hotel, and so first thing was we got to the airport, got into Orlando, and we took a cab, and that was when I learned that you need to have more than just 20s on you. You need to have 10s and 5s and 1s.
Yeah.
Or 5s and 1s. I don't know if 10s. Maybe back then 10s
because they won't give you change.
No. And so that was my first lesson, and always have variants of cash on you. Don't just carry 20s with you. Yes, because they will not give you change. And so we were like, okay, well, lesson learned. Let's, wherever we go next, like gas station or wherever, let's try and break some of our bills up. So we did that. We wanted to go to City Walk because it was our first night. We got there early in the afternoon. It was our first night in Orlando. It was our first trip without our parents. So we're just like, let's go to City Walk and find a place to eat. Well, when you go to a tourist trap and you go to a restaurant at a tourist trap, everything is really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And even back in 2003 expensive was still expensive for us.
Well, right. And especially when you're 18.
$20 now for a burger is like, okay, that's fine. $20 in 2003 for a burger was like, why the fuck are we here?
Right.
You know, it's just
like I could go get a Whopper.
And so that was so we went, I think the place in City Walk, I think it was like the NASCAR themed place maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe it was like Margaritaville. It was one of those like types of like tourist trap places, and like Bubba Gump Shrimp Company or something like that.
Yes.
And one of those places in City Walk. And so we went and ate there. We were like, okay, so this is the last restaurant we're eating at in Orlando. Like, have we agreed upon this $90, or this $90 dinner check that we have? Like, and so then there was that whole thing with like, okay, well then it was like paying the check, and we're like, well, I paid this much for this much. I'm like, can we just split it 4 ways? No, because I paid for this and this, and I'm just like, let's just split it 4 ways. I'll pay you back for this and that. Like, we can figure it out. But no, we had to pay everything individually, and so we go to the park, and we found out through our hotel that if we signed up for like this listen to our pitch thing.
Oh, for like a timeshare.
We got a free day. We got a 3-day pass to Universal for both parks, but we only had to pay for a 2-day. So we got an extra day for free.
Okay.
And which was like $90 in 2003, which is insane. Which is insane to talk about it now, but back then it was like $90. But we had prepared for that. We had prepared for a 3-day and having to pay like $120 or $160 or something like that. But we got the cheap one for 2 days for an extra free day. We had to sit through the timeshare. It wasn't as bad as I think I remember it being. It was only like an hour because we were young. I think they were like, they just want the free day. I think we paid like a $20 thing or something like that.
And that's what I think is funny. They're like pitching this to like 18-year-olds. Like, y'all were really going to sign.
Yeah, we're going to sign up for a timeshare. Like, I just graduated high school.
Exactly.
But
what
anyway.
money do you think I have?
So then we get to the park our first day, and we're like, surely we were at a restaurant getting full meals. Surely the concession stands in Universal will not be nearly as expensive as the restaurants at City Walk. Now, they were more expensive. And according to Rhett and Link in a recent video they did, the Universal food is more expensive and not as good as Disney, which I was kind of blown away by. I figured Disney would be more expensive, but they figured that out. It's interesting. But anyway, like, so I think we had no choice but to eat at Universal because, like, we weren't going to leave the park and go to City Walk. Like, City Walk's just as expensive. So I'm getting, like, hot dog cart. You know what I mean? Like, I'm, like, getting, like, a burger for, like, $8 or something like that because that's the cheapest thing I could possibly find. And so it was just, like, I went from having all of my everything planned out, how much I was going to spend each day, how much the tickets were going to be to go to Universal, all of that. I came home with zero money. I came home, I spent every last dollar in Orlando because I did not think about things being more expensive, so I forgot to talk about the cab ride to City Walk on my first night. I forgot to talk about that. So we get into the shuttle wasn't going to take, it was too late. The shuttle wasn't going to take us to City Walk. So we had to pay for a cab. It was literally the only time other than from the airport to we only paid for 2 cabs, and that was one to the airport, one to City Walk, and then back. So yeah, technically 3. Anyway, so we get into the cab. We're going to City Walk. We are so not far away from City Walk. Like, we are so, even back then, we didn't have like GPS or anything, but like, we got like the memo of like how far away we were. Because when you get these hotels, you're like, especially in Orlando, you're like this many miles away from Universal, this many miles away from Disney. I think we were like 5 miles from Universal. We were maybe like 10 minutes away or something like that. This motherfucker sends us on a quest. He's like, no, I have to go this way because I can't take a left here. And we're just sitting there looking and be like, there's a left turn signal right there. We're just like this. And we all just kind of looked at each other. We're like, this guy is going to bleed us dry because he sees us as little 18-year-olds that, you know, and he got it, and he got the money. We did not give him a tip. We paid for the fare because we knew we just got scammed. And so we were just like, I think it was like, you know, oh, your fare. It was like for a 5-mile, 10-minute drive, it was like $40-something cab or something like that. Like, he took the scenic route.
Yeah, remember when we went to Vegas?
I remember. And well, no, we're gonna see it. No, he was like, oh, I could take you on a scenic. No, we're good.
We're good.
Just take us to the hotel. We're gonna pass by plenty of casinos while we're here. But yeah, so that was my first lesson in like prepare, like have your budget, but like also include like the variables and the variance. Like, okay, well, if my goal is to spend $50 a day for 7 days, that's $350. But I should probably bring like
500,
maybe 450, or I was gonna say 450, but 500. Like for 5 days, I just have like that $20 extra, that $30 extra for each day. And if you don't spend it, then you have cash coming home. So even better. I love a trip where we plan and we budget and we both come home with cash.
Like, well, it's like even when we go on a cruise, and I've now started my thing with the envelopes. I was I was just thinking that, and I was like, you know, I probably need to do that for like our hotel tipping and then like the tours that we're going on. Because we've talked about European tipping versus here at restaurants.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to tip, but for the tour guides, I do plan on tipping because they accept tips. But
I think 10 to 30 euros is like the
norm.
The standard,
so if you paid like $50 for the tour, you tip them €5 or whatever. But yeah, so I am really big on planning because I've gone back and forth between my budget for our trip. Because I've gone from I'm taking $1,000 to now I'm down to 500, one credit card, maybe two, just as backup, and I now have that Revolut app.
Yeah,
that we're like, all right, we have 3 options to pay for stuff in case of an emergency of some sort, and then you're going to have 3 versions of a way to pay for stuff.
I have Apple Pay.
So again, I feel like we're both really good at that, and also when you have the next question of what we've planned as well. So, yeah.
Well, let's just jump right into that. I talked about my first budget trip, not my first, but not my last.
Yes.
I had a great time in Orlando, by the way. I got very badly sunburned because I did not wear sunscreen while we were in the concrete jungle of
Open,
Universal. Yeah.
Non-shaded Disney and Universal and whatnot.
Sunburn all over the back of my neck. Yeah. So, had a great time though. I love going on a trip on a budget. It always makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel responsible, but it makes me feel like we got the most out of this experience and we didn't have to break our bank. Like,
well, I'm going to go back to that and the beginnings of Nate's budgeting and Kara kind of just being, I don't want to say along for the ride, but she was like, you were definitely in charge.
This is the best pasta I've ever had. Kara, I love her. Kara, I love you.
But I feel like he was on that budget so they could keep traveling.
Right.
And that is always in my mind is like, okay, if we don't break the bank on going to Germany, Hungary, and Austria, maybe next year we can do Ireland for 5 days or go to Scotland.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to have to wait 2 or 3 years to have to save up again because we went bananas on our big first European trip together. I want to have more European trips together.
Exactly. So I'm with you.
But in the vein of Kara and Nate, I have stockpiled like Hilton points and Delta miles. And we are going on a budget because I have gotten almost all of our rooms for free and our flights were free. And I'm doing that once again for 2027. Hell yeah. All right. Next question.
So this was an idea that I had because I was afraid we weren't going to have enough time on this episode, but we're running on 45 minutes now. So we are doing great on time. I swear to God, every single time I think we're going to not have enough to talk about, we talk for over an hour every single time. That's why I stopped saying it out loud because it just happens now.
I know.
I just accept it. So I had an idea for this. So since this is all, we're all talking about travel. We talk about how much we love traveling. We're coming up on our European trip. Kara and Nate are travel vloggers. They've gone to, I know for a fact that they've done a video in every single city that we're going to, which is awesome. So we are going to Munich, Budapest, Vienna, and Salzburg.
Yep.
And we have made a list of top 3, maybe top 4. Do you have your list in your notes? Oh, I see it. Okay. They might be a top 3, it might be a top 4, just depending on. We're really excited and we have a lot of ideas. Top 3 things we want to do in each city, and top 3 foods or drinks we want to try in each city. Okay, we're going to start with Munich. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first this time.
Okay, so I have an opening for Munich. So one of my all-time favorite movies is a movie from the 70s called Suspiria.
Yes.
And it is a movie it is a comfort movie. I will randomly just put it on, and you'll hear the music, and you'll hear them say Susie Bannion 500 times, and you'll be like,
Susie Bannion.
You'll be like, are you watching Suspiria? And you'll be like, my boo, because we both just love watching the same things over and over again. Suspiria is one of my favorite movies, and I knew it was set in Germany, but I didn't fully realize that it was filmed primarily in Munich. And some of the places that were featured in Suspiria were already going to be going on our tour. So of course I had to. So basically, my Munich top 3 places I want to see in Munich is my Suspiria tour. So so first is the BMW Tower, which I did not know it was in Munich until when I realized that Suspiria was filmed there. It is this really cool looking architectural structure where it looks like a bunch of these 4 cylinders that look like it's BMW, so I'm guessing it's supposed to look like
an engine,
or something like that. And there's a really cool scene there where they film there, and every time I see a picture of the BMW towers, I'm just like, I cannot wait to see that in person. That is just such a cool looking structure. The second one I have is it's called Königsplatz.
Okay.
That's the night scene where where the blind guy and his dog are standing in front of the big structure, and it's this big open square, and he's the only one in there. It's one of my favorite scenes because it's really creepy, and I cannot wait that's going to be on one of the routes of our big bus.
I was going to ask. It's on the route, yeah.
And then it's a really cool scene, and it's a beautiful. Suspiria is a beautifully shot movie, and I think a lot of that has to do with the charm and the beauty of Europe and the old structures and these structures that are 1,000 years old, which is super awesome. And every time I watch that scene, I'm just like, man, that's such a cool building. And then we're gonna be there in a few weeks, so I'm very excited. I forgot the name of this place, but it's right by our hotel, and we don't necessarily have to go in there because it's an indoor indoor swimming pool place.
In Munich?
Yeah, in Munich. It's Munich, and it's right across the street from our hotel, which is actually really cool. It's a really cool structure, though, and I think maybe you have to pay to get in to go swimming or something like that. But the exterior and the interior is just it's beautiful, and it's like I said, that old architecture, those old buildings. I just can't wait. Because we live in America, and the oldest thing in America is a few hundred years old. So going to Europe, we're seeing stuff that's thousands of years old, and to me that's just the coolest thing ever.
Got it.
Okay, so what are the top 3 places that you want to go to in Munich?
Okay, of course, Hofbrauhaus.
Yes,
totally famous. I know you're gonna laugh at this one. I want to go to Aldi because
of course you do.
Aldi is German.
Yes.
And so I want to go to one of the Aldis in Germany just to see if it's
so
different.
Funny. I totally forgot that we were going to go on an Aldi journey. Thank you for reminding me.
And then I do want to go to Olympia Park.
Yes, that's really pretty. Yeah.
The 1972 Olympics, which sadly was famous because of the kidnapping of, I think, the Israeli Olympians. But they also have the Olympic Tower there and whatnot, and then maybe the English Gardens.
Yeah.
I think that might be on our bus tour as well.
I know Olympia Park is. I'm excited about that too. It's really cool looking.
Yep. So that's my Munich.
All right. So top 3 things I want to eat or drink in Munich. I have you said Hofbrauhaus. Got to have a beer at Hofbrauhaus. You gotta. I'm not a big beer drinker, but how am I not? Exactly. When in Munich. A Bavarian cream pastry of any kind.
I don't my Bavarian donut guy.
I don't know specifically what they have, but I see I'm getting so hungry. Seeing like the pastries in the window every time we watch a video or something, I'm just like, I want every single one of those.
I know we're going to bring so many pastries. We're going to go broke on like pastries.
We're going to get food. I think that's like, we're going to get so much street food. Okay. And there's this thing called currywurst, which I'm really excited about. It's sliced bratwurst smothered in curry ketchup, which I'm very excited about. Okay. I love my spicy ketchup and I love my brats. And then it's called Weibwurst, and it's the white sausage. I want to try that.
Yes.
Okay, what about you?
I have Spätzle. I want to try that.
Yes.
I also want to try a pretzel with cheese dip.
Gotta.
A beer. I also have the sausages.
All of them.
We gotta have a brat.
Gotta have a brat.
And then, of course, obviously something with Bavarian cream.
Obviously.
I mean, it just is gonna happen.
Yes.
So that's Germany isn't too variant on foods.
Right.
I mean, those are the staples of Germany.
Yes.
So I think we're both excited because I think we both like all of those things. I will say the white sausage does scare me in the way it looks.
Right.
But every video we've watched from various travel vloggers, they've all said it's delicious.
I think Hofbrauhaus has some kind of like sausage platter where you get like all the different ones. So we could just do something like that.
Yeah.
Give them all a try.
What's next?
All right. What are your top 3? Now you go first. What are your top 3 things that you want to do in Budapest? The city I am most excited about, by the way. Cannot wait.
Okay. One of the things that I want to do is they're really famous for, I'm going to get his name wrong. It's like the Koldonic. He's an artist and he does like the little mini statues.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to find at least 3 or 4 of them. I think they're like 30. I mean, I don't think we're going to have time to go to all the places where these things are.
You have a map, don't you?
I do, but I mean, they are very widespread. Yeah. I wanted to do a river cruise. Mm-hmm. I wanted to walk across the chain link bridge.
We have the same stuff, yeah.
And then, I mean, again, I think we've already planned, like, these are some of the things we're doing.
Yeah.
We have tours. And then I wanted to go to the Parliament building, which we have a tour of. So what else do you have?
So I have River Cruise in Cambridge. I think the River Cruise was kind of like the first big thing that we were trying to plan. Because we were up until that point, we were like, okay, let's be completely budget. But I think the River Cruise was like, okay, we can splurge a little bit. Like it won't kill us to splurge a little bit on something that we both really want to do. And cruise, even though it's not a cruise, we love our cruises, and why not do a little river cruise?
And we did that in Seattle
at night, and it's really cool. And you get to see the city. Danube, the city just lights up, and And then I have going to the Buda Castle at night. I'm really excited about that. I love Eastern Europe for the simple fact that it is just covered in vampire lore. Yeah. And of course, I mean, being the horror film guy that I am, you hear, Hungary, the Hungarian accent is what Bela Lugosi talked in, and that's why everyone does the Hungarian accent with Dracula, and it wasn't even, that was just his accent. And so, and I just think that that's so cool. And of course, like we're doing a vampire tour? We're doing like the night tour.
It's the night tour of Buda Castle. So
I'm
sure
super
they're
excited
gonna
about.
Have like vampire lore.
And then they have some catacombs there. Of course, I want to go check that out because I've always wanted to check out a catacomb. Really excited about that. And what about I have River Cruise in Cambridge too. So what about things you want to eat, drink? I'm sure we'll have the same stuff.
In Budapest, I don't really have anything that I've noted about drinking there that's famous, but I have a chimney cake.
Oh yeah.
Which is a dessert. You can have it just plain as it is, or they have a lot of filling, sweet, savory. Langosh, which of course can be sweet or savory because it's like it's a topped like flat bread, like deep fried or something. Goulash.
Hell yeah.
Which is crazy because my mom used to make something she called goulash.
Right.
And I just remember growing up, like, that sounded horrible in, like, a 5-year-old's head. I was like, what ghoul? Like, I kept thinking, like, ghoul, like a ghost, a ghoul, a goblin.
Soup. Yeah.
And then paprika chicken.
Yeah.
Like something paprika.
What about the gelato thing?
Well, gelato isn't necessarily.
It's not a Budapest.
Hungarian,
it's
a
famous, touristy thing. Yeah.
It's called like Buddha Rosa or Gelato Rosa. And they do gelato and they make it into the shape of a rose, of a flower. And you pick like either 2 colors or 3 colors flavors of gelato. And was like a TikTok sensation. And I think we're going to be walking around the area where you find it. For me, things like that are dependent on if the line is like down the block.
Yeah.
I could do without the rose shaped gelato. One of the things I kept going back and forth on to no end was whether or not we were going to go to some place like the New York Cafe.
Yeah.
Which is supposedly beautiful. Terry and Jim just went.
Fancy McDonald's. I forgot about Fancy McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. We have the Fancy McDonald's where it turns into a nightclub at night. We got to do that. And so we talked about it, and it's totally like expensive, overpriced, tourist, but we felt like if we didn't go, we would regret it. Like, because we have made a decision of one thing we weren't doing, and that was the thermal baths at like Chezhny or Galert or wherever they have it. That was also a little bit of logistics. We are only in Budapest 2 days, and it was also the deal of packing swimwear, flip-flops, because you have to have those things or you have to buy them, which we're like, great, spend more money or just try to jam it into our suitcase. But we did make the decision not to do the spa. So then I was like, let's do at least this cafe that's famous and supposedly beautiful. And I got us reservations after the night cruise. So we are doing that.
Very excited about that.
Yes. All right.
Okay,
Salzburg.
So food. I didn't say the food things.
Whoops! I'm sorry.
You're good. No, it's good because I have langoshin and beef goulash, but I also have chicken paprika. That's Budapest, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I said that too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I said paprika chicken. You said chicken.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't hear that. Okay, so another place that I want to try in Budapest. So the thing that I'm curious about with other countries, especially like not North American countries, going to another country, and of course there's like McDonald's and Burger Kings and Taco Bells, and they have those, but I want like European localized fast food. Like I want to try like what is not McDonald's in Budapest. I want to, well, of course we're going to go to the fancy McDonald's, but I want to try like what is like the European
McDonald's
fast food. And so there's this place in Budapest called Simon's Burgers.
Yes.
And supposedly delicious and really good and very inexpensive. They have several locations on the Pest side, I believe. And I just want to try. Every Budapest travel person has recommended it. It's one of those like you wouldn't expect to get a burger in Budapest, but it is like a Budapest staple kind of thing. Like it is like kind of their fast food. I'm very excited about that. But yeah, all the other foods that you mentioned, I can't wait for the chimney cake and
like I was gonna say something like the langosh.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big, and so like we've talked about like getting one savory and one sweet one and splitting it.
Yeah,
because it looks kind of like, if to get a reference, it looks, you can Google it, but it kind of looks like an elephant ear.
Yeah.
It's kind of flatbread, kind of like an oval shape.
Exactly
it looks like a football,
yeah.
And then it has like sour cream and cheese and like green onions or something on it.
I think that's right.
Something on it.
Yeah.
But you can get like Nutella and strawberries or bananas and stuff. But I kept thinking like, I don't think I'm going to eat a whole, because I want both. I want a sweet and a savory one. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, so Vienna.
Vienna.
Yeah, so top 3 places you want to go. You want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So so are we doing the big bus in Vienna? I know I keep asking you these questions.
Yes.
Okay. I know okay. I'm going to remember, I promise.
And in Vienna, we like literally have less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
This was another part of my craziness that I think Kara and Nate have inspired, is a lot of times they are in a place in their early days for like one day, and then they're off to another place. And some of their more recent places, they stay for a couple of days or, you know, like a week or something. But in their early videos, they were like, bam, 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 going to a new place. But in Vienna, we are there literally for a day.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited. All right. So I have, so I don't know if these places are going to be on our tour bus or not. We'll figure it out. This is kind of, Vienna is kind of the one place where like
we weren't
sure, but like Vienna's the place out of all 4 cities that we're going to that I know like the least about.
Yeah.
Other than like their food, but it's normal like Austrian food. But places I want to go to, there's a place called Schönbrunn Palace. And
I have it on my list.
Oh, you do? Yeah, it's this beautiful structure. It has this like huge lawn, and it's really cool looking. It's called Hofburg Palace.
I have it on my list.
Do you really?
Yeah. We didn't make these lists together,
no,
obviously.
We didn't. And then I have Vienna State Opera, which is like this really cool opera house. It looks like something out of Phantom of the Opera. It looks really cool. Yeah, really excited about that. Okay, so what are so you had 2 of mine. Yeah.
And then the other 2 that I have were was St. Stephen's Cathedral and then Belvedere Palace.
Okay.
So again, something else that I've also had to come to terms with myself is, and I've told you this, like I keep feeling like we aren't going to have enough time.
Yeah.
And I keep going back and forth like, oh my God, should we do this? Should we go to the thermal spa? Should we skip Vienna and spend an extra day in Salzburg? And, you know, and I have to keep coming to a reckoning within my own head of like, we will see what we see.
Yeah.
And it's stuff we've never seen before, either of us. And I think that's also what I'm excited about is I've not been to any of these countries. So I feel like we're going to just have fun no matter what.
Right. Everything's going to be something new.
Yeah. And so if we see it, we see it. If not, then we can be like, maybe we'll come back another time.
Yeah.
All right. So in Vienna, what do you want to eat?
Well, of course, you got to have a Wiener Schnitzel.
Of course.
Got to have that. Hopefully the veal one. I don't know if I want the pork one, but start to lose my voice. All right. It's called Kostkreiner. It's the cheese-filled sausage, which I'm really excited about.
Yum.
Every video I've seen of it, it looks delicious.
Yum.
And then a strudel of any kind. Like, just a strudel of any kind. I don't care. Just put it in my mouth.
Okay.
What about you?
I have a soccer tort.
Okay.
Which is that chocolate layered cake. I have to have, bringing me back to my 1970s and 80s, an international coffee, Cafe Vienna.
Yeah.
So I want to have Viennese coffee. And then I actually did not know this officially, but the croissant was invented in Vienna. I don't know why I've always thought of croissants as French.
Yeah.
Croissant in hand. I was alone.
I was waiting to say it.
But I gotta have a croissant of some sort. And I also wrote, by this point, I may just want to collapse and eat anything available, but for sure, a coffee and a croissant.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Salzburg.
All right. Top 3 places you want to go.
I have, of course, Mirabelle Gardens, Sound of Music, which is where they go running around singing Do Re Mi. Mozart's house. And then I wrote, this is a city with that we didn't have like a lot to know of a lot to do.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to be, we are truly about to collapse because this is the last city and everything looks very compact in Salzburg, and where our hotel is, it's really like sort of central. And so I feel like we are going to get there, drop our bags off, and if we see Mirabelle Gardens and Mozart's house, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And whatever else we see will be considered a bonus.
Right.
And that's my mindset for Salzburg. What about you?
So I have those Mirabelle and Mozart's house, but I also have, and we kind of talked about this already, because this is all, like you said, all kind of in the same vicinity and in the same radius. Have St. Peter's Abbey, but specifically their catacombs. I know this is the second time I'm bringing up catacombs, but I'm fascinated by the idea of a catacomb. I don't know why it fascinates me.
As Above and So Below.
That's one of my favorite movies. I know I say everything's my favorite movie, but As Above, So Below is actually one of my favorite movies, as is Suspiria. But yeah, I've never seen a catacomb before. Of course, I'd love to go to the Paris one, but we'll go to that one day. But yeah, I'm just really excited to, see all of these architectural structures. And we're going to be seeing so much more, and we're probably going to be seeing things that we're going to love that we had no idea existed.
Right.
Which I'm also very excited about. All right, so what about food?
I have apple strudel.
Yes.
I have Wiener Schnitzel, and that I will do veal. I think you can also do pork. And then a Bosna.
That's what I have.
Yep, the hot dog. So those were the only things that I knew that were very Salzburg.
Yeah, I have Kaz's Spatzel. It's Austrian, basically Austrian mac and cheese. It's dumpling noodles with melted cheese and fried onion strings.
Yum.
Which I'm very excited about. And then something called Kaiserschmarrn, which is caramelized pancake chunks topped with powdered sugar. Just sounds really good.
We saw that, in a video.
And then the Bosna, which, to be very specific, it is a Salzburg original. Oh. It is basically an Austrian hot dog. It's a bratwurst. It's a smoked bratwurst, I believe, in a hoagie type roll. I don't know what they would call it in Europe, but we call it a hoagie roll here. With onions, parsley, ketchup, mustard, and curry powder. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
That sounds so good. Yeah, so basically, we're going to be eating our way through Europe, which I can't wait for.
And, like I was just saying about, like, worrying about missing out stuff, I just keep thinking of, like, all the cruises my mom and I went on. We had, like, less than 10 hours in each of the cities we went to, and I loved every second of it. I mean, obviously, I've always said I had 8 hours in Rome. I mean, you could spend a week in Rome and still not do everything. So it was something that my heart was just like, I want to do this, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And oh my God, we don't have time to do this. And, maybe it'll just be that we go back another time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh, I almost just coughed into the microphone. So I can't wait. And I'm sure once we come back, we will I think we're going to be recording our May episodes before we leave, but when we come back, I guess we'll be talking about it in our June episodes.
Yeah.
So we can't wait. I'm sure we'll be posting pictures and selfies and all that jazz, talking about the train.
If you have any tips,
yes, please. Thank you.
Like, one of the newest things that we started stressing a little bit about was luggage on trains. We've read, like, you should lock them to the racks, and definitely be aware of when you're stopping and people coming on, that gets a little chaotic. And luckily on like 2 of the legs, we are nonstop. Like it's direct. From Munich to Budapest is our longest of 7 hours with like 10 stops in between. Yeah. So that one I'm going to be semi-stressed, but obviously I always say if we're together, we can figure it out and
have an Aperol spritz.
Yeah. So Kara, Nate, we love you. AG1, sponsor us if you're listening. But other travel blogs, vloggers that we watch on YouTube, I just wrote a few out. Alana, Life Well Cruised.
Life Well Cruised, yep.
I've mentioned her on Lauren's, was Gracie O'Connor. I've watched a little bit of her cruise. She's kind of more lifestyle. She does a lot of stuff, but she does a lot of cruising too. The guy who does Carnival cruises a lot, he's based in Florida.
Oh, the Ship Life?
The Ship Life. I said cruise life. It's Ship Life. And
I'll mute that. You're good.
And then I also put Eamon and Beck. They were also van people.
Yeah.
They are friends with Kara and Nate.
Right.
Like, that's how I found them. We don't watch them too much anymore. They kind of stopped blogging.
We're going back to van life, though.
Yeah, they are. They just got a van, so maybe they'll start blogging more. They kind of put on pause. They had Frankie and their own little Frankie, their own little girl. And then we've been watching I'm gonna get it wrong. Stuffed Cabbage. I was like, the cabbage guy.
I love him. Yeah,
I love him. So we've been watching some European blogs as well, vlogs, a YouTube channel. So Stuffed Cabbage guy.
And we're gonna be in Budapest. You said you like meeting up with fans.
If you want to meet up with a Stuffed Cabbage guy, we'll meet up with you and have a chimney cake or something.
Hell yeah.
So some langosh.
You won't have the gelato. He said it's too touristy.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. So that was fun.
I'm about to turn off the episode.
I know. I was like, babe.
We're just so out of our normal format. It's just throwing me off, but I love it. I actually have been loving this change of format. It's made the episode's a lot more conversation-y and a lot more conversation flowy. I'm not sitting here just saying the plot summary to an episode the whole time. All right, that wraps up this episode. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this podcast on. That way you'll be notified every time we publish a new episode. You can also follow us on Instagram at WeJudgePilotPod. We're also on Facebook and Threads. You can leave us a comment, suggest a show for us to watch, or leave some emojis in the comments. What you got? Let me guess. You got a plane, you got a train, you got an automobile.
I don't have the automobile. But we're not really going.
I know.
By
I just
car.
wanted that segue to be perfect.
Okay, so close. I have the German flag, the Hungary flag, the Austrian flag. I have beer, a hot dog. I don't know if there's a croissant, but bread of some sort. Coffee, plane, train. Those were the ones that just initially.
There is a croissant emoji.
I thought there was a croissant. So yes. But any of those, a river, a little boat, because we're going on a boat, any like of the buildings and churches and all of those fun things. All right. Well, we are going to head out, but we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.